So, if I want to get effective, effective is skill set. So, if I get better at what I do, aka scripts, aka roleplay, aka my presentation, my pre-framing, all these things matter, then guess what happens? I have better results.
Hey, this is Blake Sloan. I've been selling real estate over 14 years. Our team of highly trained professionals, along with our unmatched marketing, has sold thousands of homes here in the Myrtle Beach area, and this is how we do it.
Who knows what the difference is effective and efficient? Quinn, what do you think it is?
Well, effective is an end result. Efficient is how long it takes you to do it and how streamlined of a manner you can do it. Try not to use the word efficient.
Yeah, so that's a good way to put it. Efficient is really, if you look at it, the time it takes to get what?
To get the process done?
The result. Effective has to do with what?
The result itself.
Result itself. Now, if I want to have more money in business, I'm going to show you how I really can make extra 80K in commissions this year just by being one of these. If I look at this, what's the most way to look here? There's two ways to improve. Number one, I want to focus on effective, which means what? Okay, so let's say I want to get better at that. What do I got to do? Yes, but there's two ways to do it. So, if I want to get effective, effective is skill set. So, if I get better at what I do, aka scripts, aka roleplay, aka my presentation, my pre-framing, all these things matter, then guess what happens? I have better results. And so there's two ways to improve this. So I want to separate these for now. I want to focus on effectiveness. And so effectiveness means I have to work on what?
You.
Me, and what specifically?
Skill set.
Sales IQ. And a lot of this is stuff that I don't even know about, which is why it's important to train. One of the examples are on listings, are people, if I'm listing something with somebody, and I get on a listing and it's not selling, and they refuse to reduce the price, whose fault is that? Mine. Why? Because I'm what? Not effective at having them understand the reality of the market and pre-framing them that if we don't get X amount of showings in X amount of time, then I'm going to do what? Be asking for a price reduction that we both got to be agreed upon. And so if I can do that better, what happens to my effectiveness? What happens to my sales? It goes up, right? So that comes down to what? Scripting, pre-frame, and sales IQ. So I have to constantly be doing what? Working on that. What are the fastest ways to do that?
Roleplay.
Roleplay number one. What's number two?
Training videos and stuff.
Training videos, yes. I'm looking for, which is things like what?
Andy
Elliott, JB, you call it GC, Grant Cardone, right? So this is something I have to constantly be doing, which goes back into, where's it go? This part here, right? The 6 a.m. versus 8 a.m. get up. Like I mentioned, I can roll in here at the huddle at 9 o'clock and barely get up by 9 o'clock huddle. If I can barely get up and get to work by 9 o'clock, do I deserve any type of success? Not at all, okay? So that's just understanding, like, and is that Blake's standard? That's the standard of what? The world. Guess what? People are up hustling everywhere who have success early. If I'm not a morning person, then guess what that means? I'm probably not a successful person either. So success people don't love getting up in the morning. They just like what? Success better than like laying in the bed. Okay, so you have to make a decision here. Like, look, in 2025, I have to make sure I'm focusing on increasing my what?
Sales IQ.
Effectiveness. One of those things is sales IQ, right? Now, let's talk about efficiency. This is something important. I want you guys to write this down. Yesterday, in your prospect and your follow-up to new business, I want you to write it 1 out of 10, what your intensity was. What was your actual intensity in your follow-up yesterday to your new business? Scale of 1 to 10. Got it? Now write this down. What would I rank it as? If I was beside you, what would I rank it as? efficiency is one of the largest pieces of leverage that we can create as a salesperson. Meaning, if I can increase the intensity in which I follow up, what can I do very easily?
Curve efficiency of your.
Move the needle, right? So I come in laser focus, and most of the time is all just what? Focus thing. Why is that? Because we're fighting off distractions every single day, all day, and so part of what we got to do is make sure I'm focused on two things. Number one, effectiveness, in terms of how good I am. And number two, efficiency, because I can be really good, but if I'm not focused and I'm showing up as a 2, what was my business? It's not very good, right? And so I got to make sure I'm focused on both these all the time. And so this is something that you have to really cross-check yourself and hold yourself accountable to. Also, but this doesn't mean unless I can do what? Live by the code and call myself out, hey dude, you only showed up at 2 yesterday. If I showed up as a 2 yesterday, is that a win or a failure in terms of my commitment? Failure, right? And so it's a failure into my commitment, but the good news is I can use that as what?
Leverage.
A lesson. And I can come back and I can course correct in terms of what I do. Right? Which is super important. And so I want you guys kind of mold it today because it allows me to take a lesson where I'm either not doing good or not having something that is what my commitment is. It really has to be talking to people or booking appointments, which makes a big difference. And so that's something that's important to do. But I want to talk about some measurements for you guys, which I have here somewhere. Now back to the lesson. Our lessons are in our failures. Right? The question for yourself is, hey, am I going to go back and recommit my intensity, right, for my efficiency? And so here's the thing, failure gives you a lesson, and lesson gives you change. Just write that down. Failure gives you lesson, lesson gives you change. That's something that's important for us to look at overall. Right? So my skills are here. I can set more appointments. You guys with me on this? I can sign more appointments. I'm going to give you a tool today, which is really cool, where to help you increase your sales IQ. As well, it's an AI tool that you guys have access to that's really cool. So you can call it and it'll role play with you on the phone, which is pretty cool. I tried it out this morning, I got 9, which is pretty good. So, and it's right on the fly. So we'll talk about that in a minute for you guys. So, but if I bullshit myself, what do I not have? Owning the failure, I don't own the lesson. Right? Anybody know the story about Kobe Bryant? His MVP story? Yeah, watch the videos with him. So he first came in summer league, and anybody, NBA guy. He came in summer league first year. Anybody know what happened? He played in summer league. Guess what happened? Can you know?
Before my time.
Guess how many points he scored? 0. Not one single point scored. Like you think you get lucky at least in like a game, or you show the three-pointer, a layup, something. But he came in summer league, didn't score one single point. So guess what he did? He got really pissed off about who? Himself and how he showed up, and he worked and learned lessons from it. And guess what happened 3 years later? He won MVP of the NBA. So from not scoring a single point to being MVP in 3 years came from doing what? Being super intense and making sure that he's effective and also increasing efficiency. You guys with me on this? And so my point here is you can correct things really quickly, but you got to be willing to do what? Own it. And not be honest with yourself.